So it's been a very interesting 2025 for the WWE. Even though they've been reporting having gross record-breaking attendance and ticket sales and merch sales and profits and all that, creatively and as a fan, as a viewer, it has not been as enjoyable as WWE would have you believe as a fan. So today we're going to go over the top 10 worst booking decisions of 2025 by Triple H and creative. With that being said, this is Hayes Arcade. Let's go. We're going to start off with Jey Uso winning the 2025 Royal Rumble. Yeah, Jey Uso winning the 2025 Royal Rumble in hindsight was definitely the wrong call. Look, I love Jey Uso. I like Jey Uso. I love the moment of him winning the world title. But at the end of the day, it was just a moment. I don't think the WWE prioritized Jey Uso as a main event player. Why? Because Jey Uso has not main evented a PLE since he won the Royal Rumble. He clearly is not considered a top guy in the men's division, nor in the WWE, as well as, look, man, the reason why main event Jey Uso became main event Jey Uso was because of the bloodline and the story they told between him and Roman Reigns. The story of him breaking out from being a tag team wrestler to being a serious singles competitor, okay? And they did a great job with his character work throughout that bloodline story. The problem is eventually the bell has to ring. Eventually he has to get on a mic. And to be quite honest with you, when you compare him with the other top guys in the WWE, he's just not at that level. And I would say I would put him at that level if they gave him a proper story. It boggles my mind that you have this guy go after winning the Rumble, he goes after the world title, and at no one time did he mention being head of the table. Not once. Now, not one time did he talk about having the Ula Fala. Not once. Now, one time did he have an interaction with Roman fucking Reigns, who his whole story was based off him winning the WWE title, which meant that he was the head of the table, the tribal chief. How do you not do that? Jey Uso winning the Rumble and opening the show lets you know how much of a priority Jey Uso was, and is nothing in regards to the talent level of Jey Uso, but of how such a piss. The nigga wrestled Gunther a week prior to Rumble, and then did a 3-month build between him and Gunther to where they didn't know where they wanted to go with the story. They were so entirely inconsistent with Jey Uso and what they wanted him to be. Is he the underdog or is he not the underdog? Is he someone that is afraid of Gunther or not afraid of Gunther? Like, make up your mind. What is he? Is he a screw up? Is he not a screw up? Is he confident? Is he not? Like, it's just all over the place. It just, Jey Uso winning the Rumble was the wrong call, especially when there was other people I feel that were better, I hate to say deserving of it, but would have been better overall in hindsight in regards to actually main eventing WrestleMania. Because by Jey Uso winning the Rumble and then opening WrestleMania, it makes the Rumble not only less than, it makes Jey Uso less than. What's the point of him winning the Rumble if he can't even main event night one? The never-ending story of the breakup, Ross and Rachel of it all, of the Judgment Day. Can we freaking break up the goddamn Judgment Day? You know what the point of the Judgment Day was? The point of the Judgment Day was to create new stars. Edge started Judgment Day by including Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, Dirty Dom Mysterio became part of the group. Guess what? All three have been elevated to being a bigger and better status than when they came in. Damian Priest became world champion. Rhea Ripley became a long-term top of the women's division champion. Dirty Dom is now an Intercontinental champion and was the centerpiece of a lot of what was going on in the women's title feud of all of 2024. It did its job. Why is Judgment Day still together? And they've been teasing this for 2 years about breaking up, now breaking up, breaking up, now breaking up for 2 years. We have had to endure this. We have had to endure this for 2 years. Just break the Judgment Day up, please. Karrion Kross. I just beg of you, watch his documentary he did on his YouTube channel. We've seen this type of passion and desire before from wrestlers that for whatever reason never gets matched by management, never capitalized by management. Prime example, Zack Ryder. Now, Karrion Kross, I think, is a way better position than Zack Ryder, but look at someone like a Zack Ryder who was not getting TV time, was not in any meaningful feuds. So you know what? He went to the internet before the internet was the internet for real in terms of pro wrestling, and used the internet to get over. Did skits, talked to the fans, engaged with the fans, engaged with the internet community, the IWC, in order to gain a fan base so that when he went on TV, people would be like, we want Ryder. We want Ryder. He did what he had to do to get noticed. And that is exactly what Karrion Kross is doing. He's been the catalyst for damn near every heel turn of the past year or so. He's the devil on your shoulder. And he's been doing everything in his power with the fire promo of the year during WrestleMania, right after WrestleMania, of talking about the anguish and the frustration of being not only a wrestler, but a fan, of seeing people working their ass off, putting everything 100% into the art and not having it be reciprocated by the company that they're working for. He laid it out beautifully. You would think after that promo he cut at WrestleMania that maybe he would get more TV time. Maybe he would get a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Get something, maybe an IC US, some type of match to show that, hey, when you're doing what you're supposed to do, when you're getting noticed, when the crowd is freaking screaming your name, we're going to use that to elevate you. But they have not done that yet. And I'm like, what are we fucking waiting for at this point? What are we waiting for? It's like, I just don't understand. Karrion Kross, I'm not saying he's God's gift to wrestling, but we can all see the talent that this guy has and the mind this guy has for the business. And you would think you would want to capitalize on that, but they are not. And I'm not understanding why. For who? For JC Mateo, whatever? Like, shout out to him. But he got to pay his dues, nigga. Karrion Kross already paid his dues the first time he went to the WWE. Was in NXT. Only be called up to lose to Jeff Hardy in 3 minutes. As NXT champion. Like, he already paid his dues. He already did everything that was asked of him, probably and more. I don't know what else you need from him at this point. Maybe it really doesn't pay to be a good little soldier. The women's mid-card titles. The women's IC and US championships are a joke, and they're irrelevant, and they're pointless at the like, bro, you put the titles on 2 mid-carders and then don't even put them on the PLEs? You don't put them on Rumble? You don't put them on Elimination Chamber? You don't put them at WrestleMania? You don't put them on any of the shows to give them visibility, to show how important the titles are and how important the talent is? Then what was the point of giving them mid-card titles? Nobody cares about those mid-card titles because you're not making people care. You've done a little bit of a good job between Lara and Becky, but we're talking a championship that has been presented for 4 months, and it took you the past couple weeks to actually make those titles matter. That is a problem. That is a problem. If you're not going to prioritize the women's mid-card titles, get rid of them. Oh, I've been waiting to talk about this. Punk's favor. So you mean to tell me we teased for 5 months Punk, who helped Roman Reigns in the Bloodline at War Games because of Paul Heyman, we had to wait 5 months to figure out what will be the payoff of this favor, only for it to be Paul Heyman had to walk down the aisle at WrestleMania in the night one main event with CM Punk? That is the payoff to this? That served no consequence? You can say, oh, well, if it wasn't for that, Paul Heyman would have turned on Punk and Roman and went into Jones Seth and all. Like, Nick, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. Just stop. No. There's so much things you could have done with Punk's favor. There's so many different things you could have done with this. You could have had Heyman help Punk win the Rumble, help win Elimination Chamber, help win the night one main event. That could have been the favor. Something that serves of consequence to where you help build the tension between Heyman and Roman, or help Punk win a title, and inadvertently Roman screwed himself over because his refusal to be there for Heyman and his refusal to be nice to the roster for 4 years is what cost him the belt, because we had to call upon Punk to help because there was nobody else. Like, just like Paul Heyman walked, as much as I thought it would have been lame for it to be Punk getting the night one WrestleMania main event, at least that's something that truly matters, not only to Punk, but to the fans. Nobody cares if Paul Heyman walked down the aisle with Punk at WrestleMania. Like, that serves no consequence, nor is that, like, who cares about that? It's a cute moment, but who cares? It's the New Day. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I have seen a more rapid decline of a heel turn than what happened to New Day after they turned on Big E. New Day in December of 2024 and even early 2025 was the most hated entity in all of the WWE. They put so much effort, not only with having family members come up there and turn on New Day, the locker room turn on New Day, commentators turn on New Day. The whole arena was booing Kofi and Xavier out the building. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what they do with it. And you know what they did with it? Nothing. They weren't even on television. They barely even won. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing? You can make the argument where there was hoping that Big E might somehow get cleared and maybe you can do something with that. Like, okay, cool. But at the same time, do something with them to keep that momentum of the heel turn. How did they not win the tag titles soon after this heel turn? Like, I'm not sure. I'm not understanding how they don't do that. How do you not have the New Day win the titles and then use the New Day to help elevate a tag team, whoever that would be? I just can't believe, especially Kofi and Xavier, who have been there for over a decade. They've been there for over a decade. And I know the creative minds of the New Day. And I know it was hurting them to show up every week and be like, What we're doing tonight? Hey, just doing a backstage segment during a commercial break. Oh, great. It's like we've earned more than that. We're the fucking New Day. Possibly the greatest faction the WWE has ever seen. And you're relegating us to doing commercial break segments where we're not technically even on the show? Are you shitting me? Everything we've done for this company, and that's what you do for us? Go back to an old New Day segment. Shame. 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 The World Heavyweight Championship, nigga, we're gonna just get straight to it. The World Heavyweight Championship has been a secondary title that is nowhere near as important as the WWE Championship. That title has not been that relevant or as important, really. I want to say since Seth Rollins won the motherfucker, but really since WrestleMania, ever since Damian Priest won the title, respectfully, that title became a mid-card title. And then you would think once you put it on Gunther, oh my God, maybe it's going to truly matter again because Gunther has been this unstoppable force. But no, Gunther doesn't face any top tier competition outside of Randy Orton. Can't beat Cody Rhodes in a match that Cody did not need to win, that crown jewel. You're turning Gunther face for some god dang reason, and you don't even know how to build Gunther up. Which you already had the template for the previous 4 or 5 years of him in NXT and his IC title run. But now all of a sudden he has the world title. We don't know how to build or put a book or push Gunther. So now Gunther is lesser than. So this title right now, do you put it on Jey Uso, which respectfully, like I talked about before, Jey Uso is just, he's popular. He's one of the most popular in the company. Absolutely. And I love Jey Uso, but he ain't like that, bro. He's not like that. He's not a true top guy that's being booked as a true top guy. This guy is never going to main event a PLE unless he's in there with someone like a Cena or Cody Rhodes. If a guy can't main event a PLE off his name alone, he does not need to be a World Heavyweight Champion. And this championship has just been a secondary title. And I hate to say that because I thought once they brought the title in after WrestleMania 39, that they were going to do everything in their power to make that title mean something. And it just really isn't. It doesn't mean anything anymore. Like, yeah, Logan. It's just disappointing, man. And I still feel a way that Edge didn't freaking win that motherfucker before he retired. I know he went to AEW, but still, like, you don't put that title on Edge at least once before he leaves? Like, really, dude? You give Seth Rollins a year-long run? Like, for what? Like, it just, I don't know. We gotta do that video one day of how I would have booked the World Heavyweight Championship because I'm really disappointed in how they have booked that championship. Really, since they brought it back in 2023. For real, for real. But look out for that video. Yeah, just the World Heavyweight Championship, it doesn't feel like a World Championship. It feels like a more pristine mid-card title. That's all it feels like to me. I've talked about this a lot. So if you've heard my videos, watched my videos, and you're tired of me talking about it, then I suggest you fast forward this part because I'm going to bring it up again. Number 3, not doing Rhea Bloody Ripley versus the EST Bianca Belair WrestleMania 1-on-1. I am so befuddled, bewildered, confused, frustrated. I cannot understand for the life of me how you have your 2 biggest stars of your women's division and you have teased this match for 4 years and refused to do this match on the grandest stage of them all. There's a reason you have separated them. They have never been on the same show. You have kept them separate because you knew this was your big money match. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair But you could have did that WrestleMania 39, WrestleMania 40, and especially WrestleMania 41. And I said every time, I'm gonna say it again, this has nothing to do with Io Sky. Nothing. I love Io Sky. This has nothing to do with her. This is like having Rock and Austin going into WrestleMania 17 and say, you know what we're gonna do? Let's include Triple H or The Undertaker in there. Or let's include Kurt Angle, who was champion. I'm like, why are we doing that? Your two biggest stars is Rock and Austin. Keep it 1v1. You have a story there already. Keep that story. It's like I just don't understand. I just don't understand. And then I'm not even going to include breaking Bianca's streak because it was only like 4 years, so it's not that big of a deal. But if you're going to do it, make it mean something, make it matter. It just had to be over. Like it was nothing. I'm like, use Bianca's WrestleMania streak to put over someone or to tell a new story. Like in my mind, I'm like, there's no way Bianca does not face Rhea, turn heel, and win that title to set up the rematch at WrestleMania 42 where Rhea finally defeats Bianca. I'm like, that's Cody and Roman. It's the exact same thing you would have already done. You know the template. You could have did that. Have Naomi join Bianca. You could do this whole thing. Or you go from there to have Jay be the one to finally beat her, or anybody to help elevate them. But you don't give it to Io in a triple threat match to where it's not even like I live in a bizarro world. Like I don't know what's going on. John Cena's heel turn. This heel turn has not been it. Look, it just has not been it. It is not because of The Rock. But I have never seen someone that's considered the GOAT, considered the greatest of all time, and yet you're continually asking another wrestler to help them get over, and they're still the GOAT. I don't understand that. How is John Cena the GOAT if y'all are crying and begging for The Rock to save Cena's heel turn? Then how is he the GOAT? Like, I don't know anybody else that has happened with. If you're that great, you don't need nobody else. Like John Cena, I did a video of John Cena is not the GOAT. And a major point I made was Cena, one, has never turned heel, and two, he does not understand psychology. John Cena, since his heel turn, has done boring, just run-of-the-mill, just average promos to where at first it was shocking. So it was bigger than what, I can admit at first I was in the moment and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm hearing John Cena turn on the fans. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But then after a while, it's like, okay, can you give us something else? Can you give us something new, something different? And again, I come from the era where The Rock turned heel, he became Hollywood Rock. The Rock turned heel, he became the final boss. Roman Reigns turns heel, he becomes the tribal chief. CM Punk turns heel, he becomes the leader of the Straight Edge Society. Like, I can give you time and time again, when someone turns heel, they change their persona, their look, their music, their attire. It gives you a whole new coat of paint on a wrestler. And Cena said, no, I'm not going to do any of that. You won't get any color in my entrance, but I'm going to keep everything the same. I'm like, huh? At first, I thought it was genius, but then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, hold on. So you're going to tell me that you're not going to try to do anything different? The promos are just like, John, do you not understand how to talk? Nigga, like, you don't have to scream or talk in a very monotone voice like a robot in order to get over your heel turn. Just turn up your Boston accent, which is what I've been saying for years. The promo you cut on Rock in Boston leading up to WrestleMania 28 is the most heel John Cena ever seen because he was a dick. I'm like, I want to see that John Cena. I don't know what this heel turn is for. I don't know why the heel turn just wasn't him trying to win number 17. And he had an insurance policy inputted so that he can win number 17. That's it. Because he's been washed over the past 7 years. It's as simple as that. WrestleMania 41. Like, no, none of those matches were built correctly, properly, outside of Jade and Naomi at all. This is supposed to be your grandest stage of them all, yet none of those matches felt like a big fight feel. Even the main event of night one, which was a great match, but there was nothing on the line, there was no stakes. What was the point? The only big match feel was really the main event of night two with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. And then you have Travis Scott get involved. There was no need to do that. I can't give you I could not tell you what was the purpose of that. Like, what was the purpose of Travis Scott being in the main event of night two versus John Cena and Cody Rhodes? What was the purpose of having Travis Scott be involved at all? Why was he involved at all in this heel turn? Forever, when we talk about John Cena's heel turn, we gotta talk about Travis Scott, and I love Travis Scott. But what the fuck we gotta talk about Travis Scott? Why? Like, whose idea was that? John Cena heel turn? We gotta talk about Travis Scott? Imagine when Stone Cold turned heel, we gotta talk about DMX. Like, what sense does that make? For what? That makes no sense. It's just ridiculous. And then The Rock doesn't show up, which I wasn't expecting him to show up. So I don't have this outrage and anger like everybody else did, because I know The Rock. The Rock ain't just gonna all of a sudden pop up at WrestleMania and not be involved throughout at least a couple Raws or SmackDowns doing some 20-minute long promos. I know this. So it just, this whole thing with Rock even getting involved in the heel turn at this point was pointless unless you were going to actually tell a proper story. And it just, you knew, it's really The Rock as well. You knew The Rock was not going to be there at WrestleMania. But yet, it's almost like you built the whole entire thing to sabotage the angle to screw over The Rock. Like, that's what it feels like. Because you have everybody mad at The Rock, when at the end of the day, The Rock isn't the one writing the wrestling shows. The Rock is the one that's putting these matchups together. That's Triple H and creative. The Rock is the one that made the call to put Travis Scott in the main event. You did that. Why? There's no logical explanation. There's literally none outside of trying to sabotage The Rock. That's the only conclusion I can come up with, because of this weird Triple H Rock rivalry you got going on. The Rock has his own issues. But, like, I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand why WrestleMania was built the way it was. None of the matchups I was even excited for. I was barely excited for the main event. And it's just because I don't know what creative Triple H is doing. I don't know what to do. You had obvious matches you could have did. Plenty of them. Cena, you could have did Cena Gunther, Punk Cody. You could have did Roman Seth, Roman Jacob Fatu, Rhea Bianca. There were so many matchups you could have did. And you didn't do it because you just, I don't know, you just want to be different. You want to wait another year to do it? I'm like, what's up with this fucking waiting another year? And this is my biggest problem. F the rest of the list. Well, that was the rest of the list. But the biggest critique of Triple H in the creative process as of today, and it's been a long-term problem, is the not capitalizing on moments and momentum. You keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for no reason, to where by the time you can finally do the moment, it's already passed. There's a difference between long-term storytelling and taking a long time to tell a story. Will you please figure that out, Triple H? Will you please figure that out, management? Would you please figure that out, creative? Don't even get me started on TKO. That's a whole different video. But as of right now, this is a call for help. When it comes to WWE creative, can you please stop with this long-term storytelling and just tell great stories? Whether it's short-term, long-term, whatever have you, can we just get to telling great stories?
I'm the best. the best in the world.